Good morning, Greece. I'm McLean Iannicone.
And I'm Erin Wright. And this is BC Greek News reporting from Sparta.
Our first story today observes the life of a Spartan man and woman.
Let's first take a look at the life of a Spartan man.
Erin. I'm Colin, and I will be telling you about the life of men in Sparta. When boys are first born in Sparta, we are examined, and if we are not seen as healthy, we are abandoned. This is because Sparta needs strong men for the military, and if you are not able to be in the military, you are considered useless. Military training for Spartan boys officially began at the age of 7, although many start training with their fathers at an earlier age. The boys are taken to the barracks, where they live, eat, and train. As part of their training, boys run, jump, swim, and throw javelins to increase their strength. They are taught skills for the future and have a controlled diet. They also learn to endure the hardships they will soon face as soldiers. As part of their teaching and stealth, they are encouraged to steal food, but are severely disciplined if they are caught. As Spartan boys get older, their training becomes more physical, and they are encouraged to fight each other. During this time, they are also taught more survival skills to aid them when they become soldiers. Sparta also has a contest of endurance, in which Spartan boys are beaten in front of an altar at a sanctuary of Artemis Orthia. This practice is known as Diamastiagesis and is both a religious ritual and a test of bravery and pain resistance. When a Spartan man turns 20, he can get married, but is still required to live in the barracks. At the age of 30, Spartan men take their place in the military assembly and no longer have to live in the barracks. However, they are still allowed to eat there until the age of 40. Spartan men are expected to live their whole life dedicated to the military. And because we are taught this at a young age, we accept it and make it our goal. I hope you enjoyed learning about the life of men in Sparta.
Wow, that seems like a lot of dedication.
I know. Now let's take a look at the life of a Spartan woman.
Hi, I'm Maggie. Welcome to Sparta. As a Spartan woman, I have many more privileges than other women throughout Greece. Starting at birth, both male and female babies are accepted and treated well by their families. While growing up, girls in Greece are treated very similarly to boys. They are encouraged to attend school and participate in sports. While Spartan girls grow up, they are not quickly married off. They are given time to physically mature. When a woman is married, there's not a concern over the number of children she can have. Instead, the concern is over the health of the baby. Sparta wants healthy males for the army and healthy females for further reproduction. To be sure that we have healthy babies, Spartan women are required to exercise and strengthen our bodies. Because Spartan men are all soldiers in the military, it is up to us, Spartan women, to take care of their responsibilities while they are away at war, such as running the family estate. Although Spartan women can inherit land, we are not allowed to participate in any form of politics and can only share our opinions through our husbands.
I think the double monarchy is stupid.
I think a double monarchy is stupid.
I hope you enjoyed your look into the life of a woman in Sparta.
Through the small look into Sparta, both the lives of Spartan men and women show the state's discipline, along with their strong dedication to being a military state.
As we mentioned Sparta, we should also mention one of its current greatest enemies, the city-state of Athens.
Athens has many influential people, including the philosopher Socrates, who has been on trial.
I've just gotten word that Socrates is currently being executed. As we make our way to the scene, let's take a look back at his life.
Socrates was born in Athens and spent most of his life there. As a child, he was taught rhetoric and greatly enjoyed learning. One of Socrates' students, Plato, also shared that he was always eagerly acquiring writings. As Socrates grew up, he became an infantryman in the army, serving as a hoplite, where he showed great courage and physical endurance during the Peloponnesian War. Socrates was also a stonemason. But most of all, Socrates was known for his teachings. He used to walk through the agora and talk to people, and people would always listen. He would ask them questions and have them examine their answers, which is being called the Socratic method. The reason behind Socrates' career in philosophy is that one of his friends from his childhood asked the Delphi oracle if they knew anyone wiser than Socrates, and when they responded no, he took it upon himself to find someone wiser, because he did not see the wisdom in himself. During the Peloponnesian War, Socrates' ideas about democracy were critical and associated with being anti-democratic factions that supported Sparta. Along with this, one of Socrates' students, Alcibiades, furthered the cause of anti-democratic pro-Spartan groups of upper-class youths in Athens because he destroyed a statue of Hermes. After the war, 2 more Socrates students became leaders in the oligarchic faction, the 30 Tyrants, and ordered the killing of Athenians from the middle and poor classes. Because of all this, people began to see Socrates as a threat to Athens.
I'm sorry for this interruption on your daily news, but we have a quick message from our sponsors.
This video is brought to you by
Greek yogurt.
Even after the violence and power of the tyrants ended, people felt hostility towards Socrates. New Athenian leaders arrested him for failing to honor the Athenian gods and for corrupting the youth. In his defense, Socrates gave a speech about relying on reason and refuted all charges against him. His trial was made up of 501 jurors, and after offering Socrates options of exile and imprisonment, in which he responded that they were unfit for him, they decided that Socrates would be put to death by means of drinking hemlock poison.
That's why he got executed? Because he influenced the youth of Athens? I think that...
Okay, well, our crews have just arrived at the scene, so let's take a look in at the execution.
Socrates, here is your poison.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, but I have a feeling that his influence will reign in a great king.
Time flies by when history is made.
It sure does. This next story is about this interesting new king, Alexander the Great.
We have one of our cameramen currently with Alexander now. Let's see how it's going.
Hi, I'm Alexander III, King of Macedonia. I was born in Peia, which is the capital of Macedonia. My father was King Philip II of Macedonia, and my mother was Queen Olympias. When I was 13, my father hired the philosopher Aristotle to be my personal tutor. During the 3 years in which he tutored me, I was trained in rhetoric and literature, and started to gain an interest in science, medicine, and philosophy. When I was 16, my father assembled a large Macedonian army and invaded Thrace, leaving me in power during his absence. During this time, the Maedi tribe rebelled along the border of Macedonia, and I assembled an army to defeat them. 2 years later, my father gave me a commanding post in the military when we invaded Greece. After our defeat over the Greeks at Tirona, my father married Cleopatra and my mother and I left the country. However, at the wedding of my father and Cleopatra's daughter, my father was assassinated, and I became King of Macedonia as his successor. When my father was king, he dreamed of taking over Greece and the Persian Empire, but he was only able to achieve half of this. When I became king, I wanted to complete his dream by taking over Persia. However, before starting this conquest, I first had to reestablish Macedonian rule in regions that began to rebel. I faced my biggest opposition in Thebes, Greece. In order to maintain power, my army stormed the city, killing everyone in sight. women and children included. 6,000 Theban citizens died, and 30,000 more were sold as slaves. Although this was a brutal attack, it was necessary in order to stop the other rebellions in Greece. My next battle was the Battle of Granicus, the first against the Persian Empire. My army met the Persian King Darius' army at the Granicus River. This battle ended in a Macedonian victory. I then worked to conquer the city of Gordium in Asia Minor. In Gordium was the famous Gordian knot, and whoever could untie it, it was meant to rule the world. When I conquered the city, I sliced the knot with my sword, untying it. After our victory in Asia Minor, I moved our forces to a mountain pass at Issus in northwestern Syria, where we met again by King Darius' Persian army. Although we were greatly outnumbered, the Battle of Issus ended in a huge victory for us. The victory opened the way towards Syria and Phoenicia. As I marched down the shoreline with my army, all of the city-states surrendered to me except for the islands of Tyre. To take control over them, my army seized the city, and after 7 months they fell under our power. We faced the same opposition in Gaza with the same outcome. After these sieges, the whole eastern Mediterranean coast was under the Macedonian rule. Next, I expanded my empire even more and conquered Egypt and Gaugamela, which put an end to the Persian Empire. Lastly, to complete my empire, I marched my army to India. As I ordered my army deeper into India, they refused, knowing that the Indian army was dangerous with elephants and chariots. This was the first retreat I ever ordered. When I returned home, I married a Persian woman and adopted Persian customs. I wanted my empire to be blended of different cultures. My empire eventually turned into a Hellenistic civilization, combining Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian influences, with the heart of it being in the center of Alexandria. I also believed that education was very important, so I made sure my empire encouraged it, supplying museums, laboratories, libraries, and more. Thank you for joining me today in my empire, which I created, and I hope you enjoyed learning about my life.
A lot of interesting news we have captured for you today.
And all of this is brought to you by
Greek
Yogurt.
Thank you for tuning in to BC Greek News.
And have a great rest of your day.
Oh, I didn't see you there. When I conquered the city, I sliced the sword with my knot, untying it.
No, you said
Oh, wait.
slice the sword. You might have to redo that last part.
I sliced the sword with my knot. Oh, my God.
Good morning, Greece. I'm McLean.
Yeah, and we'll be like,
We can't drop it on the ground, though, because it will go everywhere.
drop it.
No!